Everybody, and welcome to the Playhouse E3 Day 6 recap. I'm here with John.
Hello, we did it.
Yeah,
We're done.
it's been a bit weird having these, schmucks hosting the show day in, day out, and having them on, but now we're back to the gruesome twosome. Let's
Yep.
go!
Oh.
Yeah, and it's the last day of E3. This one is weird in that this is a Playhouse Live that's not being recorded live. Uh,
Yeah.
So if you remember our schedule, we were going to react to on day 6 Nintendo, followed by Bandai Namco. We have learned in the past few hours that Bandai Namco is only going to be House of Ashes. So we're not doing that anymore after our experience
Yeah.
with Back for Blood and other conferences. So we're just
What funny
gonna,
part is I'm excited for House of Ash, but
yeah,
that's kind of a Halloween game we play on Couch Capades. But I'm gonna get it, so I don't really need to sit there and watch anything more about it.
yeah. We didn't want to go through the whole motions. Like Back for Blood stream was 10 minutes, and we did that. We didn't even post the VOD. That was just one by too quickly. But anyway,
Yeah.
it's the final day. It's the final show in our E3 coverage. So let's just get right into it and get this thing wrapped up.
Cool.
So the big event today, the only event today, as it turns out, was Nintendo. We did our reactions just a short while ago. Nintendo Treehouse is still happening. There were a lot of different
Yes.
things shown. Big focus on 2021. Just generally, John, what do you think? Did Nintendo save the C3?
After Xbox, I don't know if we needed a saving of the E3,
Mm.
but it really did put a nice cherry on top of the cake that was E3. I know a lot of people were really looking for the Super Switch or anything like that, and to me, Nintendo came out, gave us games again that are coming very soon, and then gave us Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
So I think it was a great conference. I was really happy with what we saw.
Yeah. I feel like, again, if you're a reasonable enough person, it's very hard to not come away at least mildly happy with
Yeah,
what Nintendo delivered. I think for all of us during the reactions, there was at least one thing that got us like all excited. So I feel like that's the one thing you want to do in a press conference is no matter who you are, you walk away with at least one thing that you really like.
I agree.
And so we have our reactions up. It's going up on YouTube right now. Should be up by the time that you're watching this or listening to this. But we won't go through the whole motions because that'll be there for us to talk about. We'll just go through some of the bigger, wilder announcements
Sure.
of the whole thing. They started off with a smash reveal for Kazuya Mishima from Tekken.
Yeah, that was actually really cool. We got the rumors that we're going to get a Smash character. Obviously, everyone's going left and right. Is it going to be Sora? Is it going to be Crash Bandicoot? Is it going to be someone else? And actually, I kind of like the idea of them putting another actual fighting character in it. It literally shows that the Smash is the place you want to be, and everyone is here. Everyone's fighting in this game, and I kind of like that idea.
Yeah. Really, really nice fitting into it. There will be a full presentation of Kazuya on June 28th, and that presentation, as revealed by Nintendo later on after the show, will be 40 minutes and will not contain any info on the final character in that season pass. So don't be
I'm glad
going
they
in
said that
expecting any
too.
of that. Yeah, set
Yeah.
expectations. That's all you gotta do.
Yep.
Uh, Bit of a weird one. Life is Strange and Guardians of the Galaxy coming to Switch in September and October respectively.
Yeah, that one was a little Guardians of the Galaxy out of nowhere. I didn't. I When we were watching that one for the Square conference, all of us were like, "All right, next gen, cool. It's great. Looks great. I'm gonna have fun with that one." And then all of a sudden, it's on the Switch, which now I know you and I are probably on the same boat of like, can it run on the Switch, or is this that kind of hint? We're gonna get a Pro or Super Switch out of that one. I don't know. I'm kind of the same. I'm in the same boat with Life is Strange. I know we Rose actually tried to run Life is Strange on an old computer years ago, and it just chugged. So I'm very interested to see how the architecture within the Switch itself is going to run that, or is that another kind of one of those? All right, it's coming, guys. You're going to need it to play Life is Strange and Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know.
It's the fact that Avengers isn't even on Switch. Like
Yeah,
that would be the game you'd want to put on as many systems as possible to try and cash in on that, live service
yeah,
stuff. But with single player games, traditionally, you want to only put it on the big consoles so that the single
mhm,
player is getting that best possible experience. You get the high Metacritic scores. So that's just really, really strange and must point to a Switch Pro.
yeah.
But so does everything, I guess, when you're looking at it through the eyes of people who really want it.
Nope.
Probably your biggest announcement of the day: Mario Party Superstars.
Yeah, I mean, Super Mario Party was cool, but it lacked a lot of things that makes Mario Party special. And them just coming out and saying, "Hey," almost to us the idea of, we know we kind of screwed up.
Mhm.
Here's some classic Mario Party from the N64 era, and here's just a crap ton of party games. I I like it. I'm down. I can't wait to play it. I know we were watching it on Playhouse, and it actually not Playhouse. Keep on doing it. Treehouse. Dang it. So stuck on Playhouse.
We should do a
Treehouse. It
Playhouse
actually looks
Treehouse.
like yeah, Playhouse Treehouse would be great.
Maybe not this year because
It
we're not
actually.
prepared, but next year for like the Steam Demo Fest or whatever happens, we should do a Playhouse Treehouse.
Oh, you are a madman. I like this idea. Hold on, let me scroll down to something. No, I think it looks cool. I'm down with it. I love Mario Party. It's always one of those. It's a very low barrier of entry when it comes to video games, and so I think anyone can get behind it.
I wonder would this announcement have happened, John, if the Switch Lite didn't exist? Because as Tim brought up, and I didn't even think about, Super Mario Party only works with the regular Switch. As far as I know, it
Yeah,
doesn't work on the Switch Lite. So I wonder, were they like, we fucked up? How did we not even think the Switch Lite was a thing? And then they had to make some sort of Mario Party for Switch Lite.
I could see that. I mean, because you can get Joy Cons for the Switch Lite, and so it's kind of one of those. If you wanted to play Mario Party, the Super Mario Party, then you'd have to buy Joy Cons. But I do like that they thought about that ecosystem, the Switch Lite ecosystem, going, "Hey, we got you a game. Here you go. Have fun with it." And so I maybe possibly I'm not 100% sure.
Metroid Dread, or
None
Metroid
of us saw this
5,
coming.
as it was
None
initially
of us.
revealed.
Holy crap!
Just a whole new Metroid game coming out 8th of October. Jeff Keighley seems to think it's done based on the fact that they released the file size on their freaking website. It's 6.9 gigs, which you don't get for a game that's
Jesus.
still in development because you don't know
Yeah.
what the file size is. So,
Yeah, that game's a done. Then I
yeah,
didn't even know that. Holy
and they
crap!
showed a lot on Treehouse as well. Maybe could have shadow dropped this, but I appreciate them just giving it a little bit extra time if it needs it.
Yeah,
But yeah, what a wild announcement!
yeah. We're I know we're talking about Metroid, and you were looking for Metroid Prime 4. It's not ready yet. Here's another Metroid, and you're just like, wait, what? First, you acknowledge Metroid Prime 4, but you're going to give us a completely different one? Crazy.
Yeah, again, we talked about
I
it in the
did buy
show.
the amiibos.
Everyone, yeah, you pre-ordered it for sure. I
I
bet you
already
did.
pre-ordered the amiibos.
Uh, everyone expecting the Metroid Prime trilogy to be announced
Mm,
to fill the gap, but
yep.
this, in my mind, as someone who's not even played the Prime trilogy, this is way better. This is a whole new game.
Yeah. I no, I agree. I think this is a better way to do it. A better way to get people in to kind of remind them, hey, this is what Metroid is. This is Samus. Maybe even like we were talking about on the during the show is go back and now play the games that are on Nintendo Switch Online. I still have a feeling we will get the Prime trilogy, but it just kind of tells me that Metroid Prime 4 is still a ways out. So this should kind of keep us at bay, and then maybe we'll get a Prime trilogy in a year or two before 4 comes out. Just that way you have that full on refresher.
WarioWare coming in September. WarioWare, what's it called? Get out here. What was it called? I forget the name of it, but
Oh
it's a new
crap.
WarioWare game.
Get it get it together, I
Get
think
it
is what it's
together.
called.
That was the one.
I'm gonna be honest, and you're probably gonna hate me. I've never played a WarioWare game in my life.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Smooth moves
I'm gonna
really
pick
good.
this one up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've yet to watch the Treehouse segment for this game. Looking back on the trailer footage, it looks a little simpler than Smooth Moves, which
Okay.
isn't great. Like Smooth Moves had some crazy mini games, and I would like to see a bit more of that wackiness. But it all seems very tame. But maybe I'll be proven wrong. But either way, I feel like a new WarioWare game was the right decision, and yeah, I fucking called it.
You did. I applaud you, sir. I was very impressed when that started. I'm like, oh my god, he did it.
Danganronpa Decadence,
Why did you bring this one in here?
because you're on the show.
I am on the show. If you're listening to this podcast and you're like, why Danganronpa? It's because Rose and I over on Couch Capades, it took us a year to play the first Danganronpa with how we stream, and our community absolutely loved it. I hate that I'm buying this game. I know I am. I love Danganronpa so much. I love the characters and just the emotions that have come with it. I didn't see this coming at all. I know it's the 10-year anniversary. I and it fits actually really really well with dang or on the Switch. I think it is a very very good call. Controls are not that hard. It's a lot of walking, and it's a walking sim, and it is a visual novel. You got a little bit of trials like going in there because you actually run trials, but all of it can be done on a Joy-Con or controller. So it makes a lot of sense to get more people on this train. I am a little shocked though they didn't do Goodbye Despair Girls. I think that's how it is. There's three mainline. We're getting those. We're getting the spin-off game that is in the third one. But like I said on the post show, I'm shocked we didn't get Goodbye Despair Girls. So to have that like weird spin-off game. But hey, you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. You get the trilogy.
Advance Wars 1 plus 2 Reboot Camp, a full remake of the first two Advance Wars games.
First, I'm glad you and I got some points on our little bet that we have over on Playhouse Live.
Yeah,
that was
for sure.
great. I didn't see this coming. Like Nintendo's E3 conference can be summed up in "I didn't see that coming."
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, that's the long and short of it.
a lot of out of
They
nowhere.
did what? Yeah, all out of nowhere. Didn't really. We didn't get what people wanted, but we got stuff that we've been asking for, which is a very good place to be if you really think about it when it comes to games. I can't wait to play this game. I have the first Advance Wars, I believe, on the GBA, and it is just I'm a weird sucker for that kind of tactical game, and so just to have it on the Switch, it's fantastic.
Yeah, that's why it's so hard for me, John, to compare the Xbox and Nintendo conferences because they were two very different style conferences where Xbox was selling you on a vision, both in the
Yes.
short term and the long term, really trying to buy you into this idea that you'll be on Game Pass for years and you will have a
Yeah.
constant stream of big games to tide you over no matter what type of gamer you are. Nintendo was
Yeah.
very much here's what we have in the short term, just their short term pipeline of first and third party, and it was a very nice lineup to get us through until the inevitable Switch Pro.
Yeah, I agree. Xbox was you have to show us games Xbox, and you did, and thank you, and they look good. And Nintendo was like, hey, we already have properties. Here are some properties that you've been wanting for a while. We made them for you.
Yeah.
So I was really happy with this.
And before we move on, there was some Zelda news, including some stuff in Age of Calamity, Skyward Sword, and a Game & Watch Zelda. But the big news was that Breath of the Wild showed off a new trailer and is now coming in 2022.
Is it weird? Like, so when Aonuma said it's been 5 years, first that was completely shocking to me. I'm like, oh my god, we've had the Switch for 5 years, 2 more years, and it's as old as the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One was. So we're getting close to needing that refresh. I still think Nintendo and the Switch has a long life. Seeing that trailer was absolutely fantastic,
Mm-hmm.
and my conspiracy hat is telling me that there is a reason why they are doing Skyward Sword first, letting you get into that world, and then bringing you back to it in Breath of the Wild 2. Like
Yeah.
for them to go vertical on with the trailer that we saw, we're in the sky, we're flying. There was, I mean, one of the costumes that is Link, and I'm saying it that way because I'm reading some of the rumors going around. It literally looks like Skyward Sword. Like the costume or the suit that Link and or someone else is wearing looks like Skyward Sword. So I think this was a tactical, thought out move by Nintendo, and I think they're merging these two together.
Yeah. So a great little finale for E3 overall. I'm
Yep.
glad we actually didn't end up reacting to the Bandai Namco stuff because I feel like that was a great way to cap off what was a very weird E3. And so
Yes.
looking back on it, just to put a nice bow on everything in our whole coverage, let's have a look back on this E3. And in a quick segment, I've prepared poorly named our three E3 threes. Beginning with three games you're walking away excited about, John.
Three games. My three games are going to be Elden Ring because, good God, it's actually back and we're getting in 2022. Breath of the Wild 2 because, good God, we got a trailer and we're getting it in 2022. And the one that kind of shocked me was during the Xbox showcase was Replaced. It was that weird 2D cyberpunk side scrolling, and they were doing some really cool things with the camera. So that's one of the ones that I want to get to know more and see that world because I do like the cyberpunk world when done right. So I'm interested to see what that one's going to be. What about you?
For me, I think the best showing out of all the conferences we've had so far was actually Guardians of the Galaxy. Very, very
Hmm.
impressed by what they showed. Very glad it's not really tied into the Avengers in any way.
Yeah.
Very good single player game. A lot of character, a lot of life, a lot of cool combat shown. I feel like this is a world I could get lost in. Um, as someone who's not even like I dislike the MCU, but the movies that I do like are normally Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and
Yeah.
so this is a perfect game for me almost, and I'm very excited to dip into that. Next one's 2 Point Campus. Almost became a meme over the course of the week because it was
It
shown
really did.
no less than 15 times.
Yes.
But I really enjoyed 2 Point Hospital. I loved Theme Hospital back in the day, and this is just an extension of that in a school setting, which I think is a very cool concept. And I can't wait
Yeah.
to just completely sink my teeth into that one. And then the last one is Sable. I always love a game you
Say
can get your
really
yeah. I always love a game you can get your hands on early, and I really enjoyed the demo I played for Sable.
interesting. I didn't see you coming out with Sable. I figured there's going to be another one of the demos, but interesting. Okay.
Yeah. 3 moments that you loved about our coverage, John.
Okay, it's funny because you said it at the top of our little show right here. Is I actually liked throwing everyone else into the hosting spot. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I know you and I are pretty much the hosts, so it was fun for me to actually take on Nintendo and Xbox, but having Tim, Keith, and Rose jump in there to just do their hosting chops and giving everyone a little bit of a different flavor when it comes to Playhouse, that was actually a lot of fun for me.
Yeah. It was a very nice atmosphere just having everyone in here on the call. And like that one Playhouse Live that we did after the Gearbox stuff where everyone was sort of chiming in. That was a very nice
Yeah,
atmosphere and something I think you only get around E3 times. So it's nice.
agreed. Yep. My second one was my Widow comment during the wholesome game.
Dirty bastard.
I had to. I was like, I'm gonna throw that one in there,
Yeah.
and then just kind of weirdly staying on with all of us being in chat together and running support when we needed to. I liked our disembodied voices concept that we threw in there. We're like, what do you think, disembodied voice? Ooh. So
Yeah.
it was stuff like that that we were able to like bring more of all of the different versions that is Playhouse into one place for us just to celebrate games and have fun together.
For me, number one was as much as I hated the showcase, it was very fun to rag on Gearbox. It was
Yeah.
very funny, particularly the moment. I don't know if you caught it because you were actually away at the time, but there was a moment near the end of the show where they were interviewing Kevin Hart, and
Hmm.
someone brought up The Rock, and I was like, Kevin Hart's cool too, but he's more like Diet Rock, and then Tim called him Pebble, and I lost it.
I caught the end of that like right when I heard
Yeah.
Pebble, and then all of a sudden you guys were laughing. I was like, nice.
And then after the laughing stopped and I started to get mad at Gearbox again, Tim just kept going, just keep thinking about Pebble, and I lost it again. It was so funny. Uh, Calling WarioWare before it happened was very cool.
Yeah, that was
Continuing the
incredible.
hot streak from my E3 because there was something I called last year. I think it was the Future Games Show where I
Hmm.
mentioned the board game The Captain is Dead, and then they announced in that
That's
showcase that
right.
there was a video game happening. So my clairvoyant powers are just keeping going. I hope we can bring it into next year. And playing the Sable demo. I love games that you can get in your hand. I want more demos. We
Oh yeah.
stand demos here at Playhouse, and so yeah,
Did you?
just that. Go ahead.
Oh, oh, I was like, have you played Tunic yet?
I've also played Tunic. I played Tunic today. Uh,
Okay, just making sure.
both equal quality demos in my mind, but it was just the
Hmm.
actual moment of playing the Sable demo where we had that big uptake of conferences hitting to a peak on Monday where there was just everything. And I was really tired, and then
Yeah,
Monday I was a little bit there was a little bit less, so I had a bit more time, and just like chilling back after that stress and just playing a
yeah,
video game is so good. I think E3 is so good at that, just reinvigorating your excitement and your anticipation for video games and just completely
yeah.
refreshing you in that way. And it was so good to just sit down and play something new and exciting. It was so great. And then let's cap it up with 3 things you want from E3 next time.
All right. For me, the one thing I would really, really like is if the conferences were closer together. I'm
Right.
gonna be honest. Like some of the like, I don't mind us getting the breaks. The 15, 20 minute breaks are great, but some of these times I'm like, oh man. So we're here at like 9 o'clock in the morning doing this, and then all right, we'll be back at 2 in the afternoon. It was just kind of like, oh, come on, like tighten it up a little bit for all of us. Let's just keep on going with the games. Let's keep on going with that.
One thing I will appreciate is this is sort of the first E3 where it was UK friendly times. This was the first one where I
Yes.
didn't largely have to stay up to 4 o'clock in the morning doing these, so I appreciate that.
See, that is nice, and I like that we went that E3 went that route. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I'm happy a lot more people around the world got to experience E3 without, like I said, 4 o'clock in the morning. The second one, I know we got like 40 or 60 demos. I just want more demos. I think that is a great way to do it. I think there needs to be a more coherent way to do it, because I
Mhm.
know we were talking about parsec and whatnot, and them doing it. Who was doing that way?
That was
Someone was doing
Tribeca,
parsec.
actually. Tribeca Games
Tribeca.
Festival was doing their time slotted demos via Parsec, which I never got into because they were just booked up
Yeah,
immediately.
just
But
gone. Which I get. I mean, a lot of people want to jump in and play these games. Just give us more time to do that, or like either more time slots in a day or more days to do it.
mhm.
That way we can just enjoy the games. And then the third one, which is a freaking pipe dream, but it would have been great. Come on, Sony, you need to come back. I'm sorry, you do. This was so much fun, and the fact that they're games and they're supposed to be fun, but it was a lot of fun to actually just hang out with everyone, talk about games. Xbox knocked it out of the park. Nintendo knocked it out of the park. Wholesome Games was great. Gearbox didn't need to show up, but we were missing a gap on Monday,
Yeah,
and I know that gap was it's always been Sony, and I kind of like I liked having that time where like, all right, we're good. But just to have Sony show up and be like, "Hey, here's some PlayStation 5 games that we're going to give you guys," would have been great.
yeah. I'm pining for a Sony conference myself.
Yeah,
We might get it next month,
heard the room. Yeah, I heard the rumors. We might be getting one soon.
but we'll see. If it does, we'll be right here reacting to it anyway. But anyway, my three wants. First one is the ESA finally decide what they want to be or what they want E3 to be. Is it going to be a
Yes.
media event? Is it a fan event? Is it a trade show? What the hell are you? What do you do? And
It
be good at it.
yeah, it kills us. I'm 100% with you. Like there is no rhyme or reason. Like there's no path. There's nothing. What is the ESA? What is E3? No one knows. No one can tell us, and that needs to change.
Yeah, because when it was a media event, no one did it better than E3. That's why it was so hyped up. Because
Yes.
it fulfilled a very uh, unique space in the games industry where media could get their hands on games, and no one else was really doing that because E3 was always the place to go. Uh,
Yeah.
Ever since CES stopped having games, so they became this fan event, and they haven't been able to like do stuff like PAX or Gamescom. And there's a reason why PAX and Gamescom don't get the buzz or the reactions or what coverage that E3 gets, is because all the hype is centered around E3 because it's a media event
Yep.
and has a very specific thing that it needs to do. So just decide one path or another. I don't care what it is. If you want to be a fan
No.
event, great, but you can't pretend to be like E3 of old. So I
Turn
really need
turn
them
into
to,
it.
yeah, have an identity.
Just have an identity. And Rose and I were talking about that too. We were like, man, remember when we watched all of E3 on G4?
Yeah.
God, those were the days.
Mhm. My second one is the same as yours. Demos on PlayStation and Xbox. I really like PlayStation and Switch is what I mean, because Xbox and PC have really embraced it now for a few years, and so I would really like to see this expanded to the larger games things, and then also maybe for games that can't allow downloadable demos, some solution there. There's got to be something, even if it is
Yeah.
only media getting in. But yeah, there's some way we could do digital demos. I know we can. We can come together as an industry. We can figure out a way. But I feel like the first good step is for PlayStation and Switch to adopt the same path as Xbox and PC and have demo festivals around E3 time. And finally, I know this is something we couldn't have this year, but by God, am I looking forward to next year when we have the return of live crowds. It will just
Yeah.
change the energy so much, having people at a convention center around an actual event that's happening with real booths and real people and real energy and real life
Yeah.
about it. I cannot wait for that, because even sitting at home, you can tell that brings a whole new level of energy to the conferences, to the coverage, to the things that publishers want to announce. They want to big pop for the crowd. It's a bit like wrestling that way, where they want to spur the crowd on them, and the crowds aren't there. It's not the same. There's no
It's
atmosphere
not the
there.
same. Yeah.
So I know
It's a
it couldn't
very
happen this
dry.
time. Yeah, I know it couldn't happen this time, but by God, I cannot wait for next year. Always on to the next thing, John. E3's just wrapped up, and I'm already on to next E3.
That's literally what's gonna happen too. It's gonna be all right. We're done. What do we do for next year? And that 100%. Hopefully, we will be at a point where we can have crowds back, and there's gonna be people on the actual show floor taking video, and just the crowd just getting excited to hear about a game specifically. Most likely, like, could you just imagine the swell of people when Starfield gets announced, like a
Yeah.
trailer to Starfield? And it's gonna be magical.
Mhm. That's what Bethesda conferences all used to be. It used to be that connection with the crowd. So it's weird that we didn't have that this year. But that is the finale to our E3 coverage for 2021 and Summer Games Fest for 2021. Thank you for enjoying all this coverage. We worked hard behind the scenes to make sure we had the best possible version of this coverage that we could make for you. It was really fun doing it behind the scenes. It was a lot of work, a lot of tired nights, but it is the best time of year. Even when E3 has its bad years, it's still something I look forward to year round, and this was very fun to do. If you want to keep up with us and you enjoyed a lot of this content, please give us a subscribe on our YouTube channel so you don't miss any of the stuff we'll be doing. I know my next big thing is planning Steam Next Fest starts tomorrow, and I've already got some demos, like I mentioned, Sable and Tunic, so covering those and starting to play some games and talk about games that way as we roll on into the second half of the year is going to be very exciting for me. But please, we do this Playhouse Live thing every Saturday on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Playhouse Live, where we're talking about the game news every single week. So we're not stopping here. We're going to keep going. It's also available as a podcast on all major podcast services, and we upload the video versions on our YouTube channel as well. So please give us a subscribe over there. And thank you for being with us on this journey. And we will see you for more Playhouse Live, and we will see you for next year's E3. Until then, we will see you guys later.
Bye.